Good evening, everybody, on what is a very hot Tuesday evening here in the UK. We're not in the UK for this race of Formula Sprint 2. In fact, we're in the Hungaroring. There are a lot of our drivers are from the UK and Europe, so I imagine also feeling the heat. 31 degrees ambient temperature, 32 degrees track temperature, certainly amplifying the heat wave. I am Tom Dillon. Alongside me for round 10 of the season is Menno Klont. And Menno, what are you expecting from tonight?
Well, yeah, like you said, it's pretty warm overall over in Europe, but also here on the track. So I think it will be very hard conditions, mainly for the competitors, but also virtual. I think it will be really hard on the tires, and that's something I expect we will see. We will, I think, have people that will have, a bit of problems with the getting the tires to the distance. That's at least what I've heard and what I more or less expect at the moment. I think the first, let's say, what should we say, first 14 laps should be easy, but I think the last few laps, then it will be difficult on getting the maximum performance of grip out of your car, and that's a fine line, and that will be interesting to see who can pull that off the best. So yeah, looking forward to see this round, which is, I believe, the 10th round of the season, or is it already the 11th?
It's the 10th, and
Yeah.
well, another thing that the competitors are going to have to keep an eye on is the fact that, of course, their hardware is going to be taking a fairly significant hit in these conditions. The wheel better have good ventilation, as the computer as well. Otherwise, you could find yourself in a little bit of trouble towards the end of the race. No people setting laps just yet in the qualifying session. Stephen Lexo is purple at the moment on the race view. This is Jack Nicholls heading through Sector 2 of the Hungaroring. And, well, looking to pick up where he left off, really. Jack Nicholls, 2 weeks ago in Austria, second place in race 2 after only 11th in race 1, but a good recovery from him. And I believe he's actually going to be the first driver to set a lap time. And heading through the final 2 corners now. Just a little bit of a step out from the rear end, and then through the final corner, just dip the car in early, a bit of an early apex, and then run it all the way to the exit. Jack Nicholls setting the banker for the field. In fact, no, everyone else comes in as well. Nicholls goes 9th and a flurry of lap times. Mitchell on pole at the moment. Nicholls actually gets downgraded to 12th. In the end, Remco De Zet is on his first lap, and currently 118 rounding the final corner, so you're probably looking at something like a 131, and perhaps not the most incredible lap at the moment, but only a banker. So Remco comes across the line, 131.2, goes 13th, and well within the points at that. Justin Ruin, next person across the line. Optimal Esports, and a 136, so clearly not a representative lap time.
Let's see what Denis Ischenko does, because Denis Ischenko...
Not much, he's just spun.
He just spun. He had a purple sector 1, so that's why I wanted to look into that. But yeah, unfortunately he made a bit of a mistake. But I think decent pace showed so far. But yeah, you need to make sure you can translate that to a good lap time. We've got multiple drivers just posting good lap times. Let's see, what can Jerry van Bussel do? I think he is quite strong here. I think this is his second round in FS2.
And he goes 7th.
So I think that's decent. And that's 0.4 of a second from pole, which now currently is in the hands of Luke Mitchell.
And as we see Scott Sovic in the GPVWC Academy car. I've heard there's only one GPVWC car here this evening, but Sovic is going to round the final corner now. He was second off in Sector 2, so perhaps not the most incredible lap time, but he's going to give it his all to get up the order a little bit, a 132.4, so he's going to improve, but stay in 20th position. Orion Grisson is going to give it a go as well, 134.2, so he stays 23rd as well.
Yeah, I think with Scott Sovic, you will see he will build up the pace up. So I think you will see him now. Now he's quite a bit from the pole position time, but I think he will be better. And here we have got Piotr Adamczyk, who's driving the second GPVWC Academy seat for today. So let's see what he can do. He's fun, yeah.
So there is 2 GPV cars here today.
Yeah.
That was my mistake. I read somewhere that there was only one, but never mind. As we see Luca Tisano for Rowan GP. 5 tenths off in the first sector. Currently sitting down in 26, yet to set a lap time. And 7 tenths off in sector 2 as well. So at the moment losing about 2 tenths a sector. And hoping that the third sector can be a little bit more fruitful, and we'll see what he can do across the line, rounding the final corner now. Put a boot full of throttle in, make sure to keep the traction nice and stable, though 131.5 across the line, so goes 18th Tisano, and we see Sava Pasanenko, ST Racing, currently sitting in 27th position, still yet to set a time. He's going to set his first time of the qualifying session, and it's not going to be one that sets the world alight. It's going to be enough for 23rd position.
Yeah, but like a few others, I think they will build it up. So I expect Seva to go, I think, what should we say, second to 1.5 seconds quicker on a second run. So this is just to get the lap time in.
Jack Mayer had a slight little snap of oversteer, so his promising looking with a purple sector 1 lap is unfortunately not going to really amount to much. Massimiliano Riboli was purple in sector 1, but I'm not too sure whether he'll be going to pole position with a 1/10 off in sector 2. It's all about that sector 3 and what you can do. A slight slide on the exit of the hairpin from Massimiliano Riboli, and look at the amount of rubber laid down on the track. Maybe a few issues with tyre temperature or something causing these slides, but as he comes to the line, 130.3, so stays 5th, Massimiliano Riboli. We see Yusuf purple in sector 1, only by 1,000th of a second, but then 2/10 off in the second sector as he rounds the final corner.
And we had Denis Eschenko jumping to P3, so that's confirmed his pace he had in sector 1 at the previous run. So he is up there, only 1.5 tenths off pole, which is still in the hands of Luke Mitchell.
And 10th for Bin Soil. Kenny Singleton is currently in 28th, and he's invalidated the lap apparently, so we'll be going again. Still 6 minutes to go in the qualifying session, so plenty of time to get a lap in, even enough time to come home and change tyres. We see Jack Nichols purple in sector 1, looking to make a mighty statement here from 13th position, and the question is, what can he do in sector 2? Jack Nichols, is it going to be a pretty mighty pole position lap time, though quite a few people purple in sector 1 and not able to capitalise. We'll see what Nichols can do. It's green in the second sector, so a 10th off of pole position as he comes to the final couple of corners here in the Hungaroring. They always say this is like Monaco without the barriers, and a very, very interesting track in terms of characteristics. Through the final corner, Jack Nichols looking to get the car in a pretty good position for the race. He crossed the line 130.4, so 7th for Jack Nichols. Not quite the lofty heights of pole that the lap was promising, though. It's a similar story for Sir Tyrus Cognitoris. Purple in sector 1, green in sector 2, 3/10 off the pace. He is in 13th. Must have inherited that, but now crossing the line, he goes 12th.
Well, I'm watching the current sector times, and I believe, let's see, It's Justin Ruan who is now currently having a faster Sector 1 and a faster Sector 2 than he previously did, so hopefully we can see him. I think he can move quite a few places up. He's 1.4 now behind pole position. Let's see what he can do. Oh, slight wiggle there from him. But where can he end? So his fastest lap was a 1:31.4, and he now posts 4/10 quicker. So that's quite decent. And where did he jump into? I believe that's 3 places gained. While we see a very good sector from Stephen Lexo.
Let's see what Stephen Lexo can do. Yellow in the second sector, a 10th off of the pace, however, a 10th down a little bit down on himself. Anyway, can he improve into the final sector? That would be characteristic of a mistake, that second sector lap time. And what can he do here then? Out of the final corner, is it going to be pole position for Stephen Lexo to try and knock Luke Mitchell off of pole position? No, it's not going to be. 1:30.075. Scott Mitchell is going to try it. He went yellow in the second sector as well, so perhaps not going to be Scott Mitchell's day either at the moment. He can still jump up a little bit. The question is by how much? Cross line 1:30.4, so Scott Mitchell also not going to jump up with 3 minutes left in the qualifying session. And Asensio is second position, 8,000th off of the pace.
Yeah, that's really good to see from him. He really did an amazing job. And the top 3 is so close, but we didn't get below the 1:30. So will we still see that, or will this already be one of the fastest laps we saw in this qualifying? I think we could potentially see a 1:29, but it all depends on what the fastest guys will do.
You see Josh Downard improving on his best in Sector 1 and into Sector 2. I wonder if he's going to improve any more. And at the moment, a promising looking lap from 17th for the TOP esports driver. And it's all about that Sector 2 timing line. He's going to go yellow, 8/10 off of pole position, and it looks probably quite significantly off of his best. He's going to soldier on with the lap, however, rounding the final 2 corners and see if he can jump up the order in any which way. But it does seem to be a theme at the moment that people are improving in Sector 1, and then Sector 2 and Sector 3 isn't quite up to scratch. What can Josh Downard do? 1:30.06 is his target time, 1:31.3, so he doesn't jump up the order at all. Lillian Halliot has made a mistake in Sector 2, being a few a second or two off of the pace, or backs off or something like that. But going to cross the line anyway for what is essentially an outlap, and will go again, I am sure. 1:38, so really final laps are in now. Remco Dessert is purple in Sector 1. He shouldn't really be a contender for pole position here. He hasn't been all season, and the question is whether he can be or not at this stage.
Well, I hope for a bit of a upset. So if he could get pole, that would of course be amazing for Remco. But we shall see what his second sector is. No, it will not be pole, but he's on a flyer, and I think he can improve his time. He's now currently, where is he? The times.
And 4/10 of the pace.
Yeah,
heading through the final.
Yeah, he was 1.2 from the pole, so I think he can make a huge jump if this last sector was good. And he jumps to, let's see,
14th. We see Luke Mitchell rounding the final couple of corners now himself. Really on the bubble here to improve his time and further cement his pole position in what I imagine will be his final lap of the session. He'll be able to squeeze one more in, but the question is whether he wants to or not. It's going to be an improvement. It's 1:29.9 now the time to beat. Denis Schenko, however, is improving. He's invalidated in the second sector. He was improving though, and he should theoretically here have time to go again. Jerry Van Bussel crosses the line, stays at 5th. So VMS have actually suddenly bought a really good package this weekend.
Yeah, that's very true. And Ken Singleton jumps to P19. and into the wall. Let's see what Tommy Koivunen can do. He is on a better lap. Even Luke Mitchell is on a better lap. Let's see.
But yes, so we see Tommy Koivunen improving. No one purple at the moment. Luke Mitchell was green in the first sector, not purple. Denis Yashenko not improving in the first sector either. Neither of many people actually. So Luke Mitchell's pole to lose here. Koivunen is going quicker ever and ever, and the question is, can he jump into the top 10? I think that would be a reasonable goal for him. He's going to go rather wide at the final corner, the penultimate corner even, and I wonder if that might just invalidate this lap. As he comes to the line, it's going to be a 30.6, and he's not going to jump up the order at all. Luke Mitchell was almost on an identical lap through the middle sector, and what's he going to do across the line? It's going to be 300ths off of the pace, and he's not going to improve his lap time at all. Denis Yashenko, though, is going to need 300ths in the final sector to see if he can go on to pole position at the last moment here for the Hungarian Grand Prix. He crosses the line. Is it going to be pole position? It is by Denis Yashenko. 1:29.8, and in the end, it was 1/10 of a second up on Luke Mitchell, and he has gone and stolen the pole position away.
Yeah, this is really stolen pole position away. That's a good old rabbit out of the head. This is not what I would have expected. I heard, I believe yesterday, that Dennis was going to drive, and then you don't know where is his pace in comparison to the others. But for him to put it on pole, that's I find it very impressive. So here's your top 10. It's Denis Yashenko on pole position. Then we've got Luke Mitchell in second with Stephen Lexo in P3. Jack Mayer a good P4 with Scott Mitchell in P5. Irene van Bussel a strong P6 with Massimiliano Riboli in P7. Maxime Biulu, I would say, very, very good P8 for him. Jack Nichols decent in P9. And P10 is for Mikael Tomala. And we've got the second row. We've got Yusuf Bin Suhail in P11 with Sotiris Kontouguris in P12, Tommy Koivunen in P13, Florian Haase with a late lap which put him a few places higher in P14, Remco de Zeeuw in P15, and mind you, P15 is still like only 1 second slower than pole position. So then we've got Justin Ruan in P16, Maciej Sandak in P17, Josh Downer in P18, Luca Tisano for Rowan GP in P19 and Kenneth Singleton in P20. Then we've got the final 8 drivers. From the qualified is Lilian Hilaire in P21. P22nd is for Caitlin Penny. Then we've got P23 is for Ali Pollock with Seva Panashenko P24, Scott Sovic in P25, Aurelian Grison in P26, Piotr Adamczyk in P27, and Mihailo Vincentjevic rounds out the field in P28. So this is the grid for the first race. So Tom, close qualifying, I would say. What would that mean for the race? Do you think we'll see a lot of overtaking, or do you think the nature of this track will prevent overtaking with all the corners in this track?
Well, I think the straights are going to make up for all of that, and we'll see some good battles. But I reckon VMS have found something with the setup there, because both of their cars are uncharacteristically within the top 7, and we haven't seen that all season. So I think they've found something. Anyway, we're going to go to a quick break during the warm-up session, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes' time for race 1 here in Hungary. Welcome back to the Hungaroring. We are here for Formula Sprint 2. Race 1 coming up very, very shortly. We're just at the back end of the warm-up session now. The checker flag is out there and we're just waiting for the session to switch over. 18 laps. The race, and it's a 4.381 kilometre circuit length. It should be a rather attritional race in the season, given the heat, given the nature of the track, a rather thin track, not the easiest to overtake. I'm Tom Dillon, alongside me is, as always, Menno Klont. And, well, Menno, what's your predictions for the top three?
Oh, prediction for the top three, that's very difficult. Yeah, I would give, I think it will give Luke a good chance to get in the top, stay in the top three. Also, Jack and Dennis will be very interesting what they can do, and for the rest, we need to see what will happen. I will not count out Steven, and even a few others like Jerry van Bussel. Maybe they can follow the front running group. So that will be interesting. Like always, it will be interesting. Where will the DRS break? If we might have 4 or 5 drivers in the lead group, and then a bigger second group. So it's like Tour de France, but then in Hungary and with open wheeler cars. So we shall see if that actually will happen, or that we have somebody that will drive away that just says, maybe Dennis says, "Hey, it was fun," but this one is me, drives out of DRS, and we never heard from him again until the finish. After 18 laps. So, we shall see what will happen. Not long now, and I believe we're waiting for one more. And no, actually,
session has just switched. And ready to go. And well, as we give everyone a moment to load into the race session here, it should be a rather close one. Indeed, and the question is Luke Mitchell, knowing that Reuven Machete isn't there this weekend, it's Luke Mitchell's and Jack Mayer actually their main rival for the championship. 35 points to Reuven Machete for Luke Mitchell, and the question is he going to try and use this as an opportunity to really try and get himself up close to his main rival. I wonder, Jack Mayer also didn't have the most spectacular of qualifyings. In fact, I can't see he's in 4th. So not on the front row from Jack Mayer. Of course, Denis Shevchenko upsetting the ante a little bit. And, in fact, it is Denis that we're waiting to get onto the grid to get the formation lap underway.
Yeah, look, all those cars standing, and we're there now going for the formation lap, and we will have the grid soon, so we will take you through it, because I believe maybe we have some grid drops after qualifying, but yeah, we're waiting for it. So the starting order is as follows. We have got Denis Shevchenko on pole position, with Luke Mitchell in 2nd position, Steven Lexlow in 3rd position, and Jack Mayer in 4th position. Then from 5 to 8 is Scott Mitchell, Jerry van Bussel, Massimiliano Riboli, and Maxime Beaulieu. Then from 9 to 12 we've got Jack Nichols, Mikael Tumala, Yusuf Bin Sohail, and Sotiris Gontouguris. The next 4 are in 13 Tommy Koivunen, Florian Haase at debut, if I'm not mistaken, in 14th, Remco de Zeeuw in 15th, and Justin Ruan in 16th. Then in 17 is Josh Downard, 18 Luca Tisano, 19th Kenneth Singleton, and 20th Lilian Hilliard. Caitlin Penny is in 21st, with Ali Pollock at debut 22nd, Seva Panashenko in P23rd, and Scott Sobick in P24. Then we've got Aurélien Grison in 25th, Piotr Adamczyk in P26, and Mihailo Vincencevic in P27. And the cars are already in Sector 3. So Tom, not long to go now. Let's see what kind of race we will have. If we will have the early drama, or maybe that we will have like an amazing race. And yeah, my wonder is how long will the tires be at their optimum working range, and will we see loss of grip the last few laps? That's my question.
Would be a difficult one for sure, but probably the start of Denis Shevchenko's life here, particularly in GPVWC, as he waits to get underway. And this would be, I'm going to have to double fact check it, but I'm pretty sure VMS Sun at its first ever race win in particularly this season. I'm not too sure if they had one last season, but this season it would be their first race win. And well, everyone on the grid waiting for the lights. Championship leader not present this evening, so the question is, can those behind him make up some ground as we wait for the lights? We go to 3 lights, 4 lights. It is 5 red lights in the Hungaroring, and it's lights out and away we go. Denis Shevchenko looks like he's got a fairly decent start, and well, just behind him, Luke Mitchell not quite able to draw alongside down into turn 1 as he's going to try into turn 1. Jack Mayer gets ahead of Luke Mitchell. He certainly got himself up into 3rd position. Jack Mayer just edging out Steven Lexo, and then down into the rest of this track there is Scott Mitchell in the back getting himself up into 4th position as everyone else filters on through sector 1 now. And well, a pretty clean start at the moment.
We've got a crash, and it's, I think, Yusuf who spun, but he didn't lose our front or our rear wing. I believe Yusuf got hit by, I'm not sure who it was. I think it might have been Remco, and it was just unlucky coming together. We've got another spinner, which is Aurélien Grison in 27th now, but we don't have any loss of front wings from so for now, so we can go at the front again.
It was Yusuf, and well, he just came together with someone, and there was a separate crash at the back actually, but it was just Yusuf clipping someone's wheel there and going round. No major damage though, so he can continue on the 18 laps. I am sure here was the second incident. It was down into the hairpin, and Siva Pasenenko was caught in that, and he just turned in, not seeing the car alongside him. And of course, one of those that just happens sometimes. Denishenko trying to break that DRS early on, 0.6 of a second. He leads from Luke Mitchell, already gaining those 0.7 of a second in the first lap. Here's Mikhail Tuamala trying to make the move. It's not going to happen for him around the outside, but the car ahead's going to go a little bit deep, and didn't see there if he went through. Here's Justin Ruin trying to get through on P14. He's going to get 14th position ahead of Josh Downard. Now around the outside, he tries to stick this one out. He's going to have the inside line to the hairpin as well if he can just keep around the outside here, but it looks like Downard has just stayed ahead by the skin of his teeth there, but it is Denishenko who leads from Luke Mitchell from Jack Mayer.
Yeah, so quite a few good battles, but yeah, we're now waiting when DRS will be opening, and yeah, Luke Mitchell is still quite close, and that's not good news for Denishenko, because yeah, if he's got DRS, Luke, I think he could potentially pass him, and Jack Mayer is of course quite close to Luke. Yeah, Steve Max, so he's more or less about a second, but yeah, I think not out of DRS range, and yeah, under braking, Steven already closes in on the top 3, so I think more or less it's a good yeah, following each other now. Where is it braking? It might be braking at Maxime Billiou in P8. I think he will struggle to stay in DRS range. And there we go, but not DRS for now, so that will be the next lap.
And Shenko will need about a 10th on this occasion to try and get himself into that second margin, out of that second margin, I should say, as we see Remco just pressurising Tuamala ahead. So Tyrus is going for a move down the inside. It's not quite going to work for him on this occasion. Then Bin Soil is starting his fight back through the field. He's up into 20th position already with a rather aggressive move, as we see Tyrus really trying to get on with things here for 15th position on Justin Ruin. He's right behind now, really trying to pressurise Justin, and then down into the left-hander. He just has to back out of it in the end, hopefully, for Tyrus, just trying to push Justin into a mistake hit, and at the moment not really working for him too well. Going to have to be patient here and wait for the DRS. I'd imagine there's someone onto the grass just ahead, and I think it was just a minor issue, nothing too concerning. The big news though is Denishenko currently not yet out of DRS range.
No, not yet out of DRS, James. And let's see, I believe Steven Lexo is also still in DRS range. So now we will see if the DRS will make a big difference now. Luke Mitchell is trying everything to get a good exit out of this corner, and he will open the rear flap. Let's see if he can get closer. Yeah, he can get a little bit closer, but not by much. So for now he's not close enough, but we will have an overtake for P4. It's Scott Mitchell against Steven Lexo. It's Scott Mitchell around the outside, but the outside will become an inside. So does Scott Mitchell have this overtake done? I think so, yes, and it looks like he passed, but at what cost? Because now he is quite far behind P3. Oh, and we got a big crash, and it was a lag spike or something, and Steven Lexo got involved again. It's again Steven who got the worst out of it, and it's the whole season, typically his season this season for Steven. I can't believe it. I can't believe it for Steven, and again from a quite good position he lost a front wing. He's not only damaged, but he needs to go to the pits because he lost his front wing, so really unfortunate.
And I would suggest that might just be a screen freeze from Mitchell, and perhaps something caused by the rather extreme heat. Computers can, particularly when playing R-Factor 2 with a full lobby, overheat quite badly when they're under stress, like at the moment, and that can cause screen freezes and things. And it's never nice, and unfortunately Lexo a victim once again. Mitchell, ironically, despite being the cause of the incident, I mean, it obviously wasn't his fault, he is actually got away with it, and he's still in 6th position. He's going to come under a little bit of pressure from Tuo Marla, though, around the outside into turn 1. He's going to get the move emphatically with the DRS wide open, and he's up into 6th position. Maybe a bit of damage from Mitchell as well. You would expect as much. Shenko still leads, however, and that's the thing I'm keeping an eye on at the moment, and in fact he's just broken DRS. Here's Maxime Bilou trying to fend off Jack Nichols, and Nichols at the moment behind, not able to make a move just yet, and it's a little bit of a DRS train, so I imagine it will be quite difficult for him in any case. Jack Mayer trying to pressurise Luke Mitchell. These two really close in the championship, 2nd and 3rd in the championship, though the other way round than what they are on track in those standings, and really looking to capitalise together on Ruven Michele not being here.
Yeah, and well, for now it's happy hour for Team VMS Sun Edits and for Team Avashera, because they both have 2 cars in the top 5, so for now it's good. But let's hope I'm not gave them the commentator's curse. But yeah, it looks really good for those 2 teams, and I believe Redfan, our current team championship leaders, are with both cars not in the top 15, so that will be a bit of an upset if that stays like this for the remainder of this race. But of course we still have a bit, and especially Yusuf is not not that far from the point, so let's see what will happen there.
And yes, I didn't realise actually that Yusuf was racing for Redfen today, but if he can get some points, it will certainly help them, as we see Jack Nichols being overtaken by Tommy Kuvian, and he's down into 10th position, just caught out with the DRS, I think, on lap 6 of 18 of race 1 here in the Hungaroring. And, currently watching Jack Nichols try and find a way back past Tommy Kuvian. As for the team's championship, it would be a good haul of points here, Alpha Sierra, on the none that Redven would pick up in this race, which would mean that they would shorten that 39-point gap that they've got ahead of them.
Very true, and let's see the current positions. Well, you see all the standings currently from the top 20 on the left side of your screen. So it's very interesting. We've got, let's see, oh, we had somebody going off the track, and that was Scott Sovic. So he was in P16, I believe, and now he's into P19. So only a small mistake from him, but yeah, it was big enough to make him lose a few positions. But we're now on board with Maxime Bilou, and he is really racy. He is going around the outside, and the outside will be inside. Can he walk the corner? No, he can't, so he can't pass for now, but we will have DRS again here. We'll go around the outside. Yeah, but outside is risky. There is not a lot of grip there, but he is fighting really hard for that P7, and yeah, Maxime drives better than I saw him race the whole season, in all honesty. So he's having a great round, so let's see yeah, how that is in 10 laps.
What can he do, Maxime Bilou, who is having a pretty up and down season. Not been the best season for him at all. In fact, one top 5 finish, only a handful of top 10 finishes, 2 outside of that top 5, so 3 in total. Only been in the points on 1 more occasion, so again, not the most incredible season for him, but at heights now, and definitely a driver who's got the pace, and we believe that Scott Mitchell might be carrying a little bit of damage here, so that might play into the favour of the number 2, and it's going to be the DRS zone now that is going to be the important one, rounding the final corner. Or it's all about the exit here for Maxime Bilou. Scott Mitchell isn't in DRS range of anyone ahead of him, so Bilou should theoretically be able to make this move with any little bit of luck. Here we go then. He's got all of the overspeed in the world, 240 kilometers an hour, down into turn 1. Around the outside goes Maxime Bilou. Scott Mitchell is going to fight him as much as he can, and they're going to stay side by side for the time being. Maxime Bilou.
He got DRS, so that's why Maxime passes him. He's trying. Yeah, he's got him now. Yeah, he's got him covered. So Maxime now goes to P7. Well done. Very, very well done with DRS, but overall a very good lined-up overtake.
And he's now through on Scott Mitchell, of course. And Scott Mitchell, I don't think will be able to fight that too much back if we do assume. He's got a bit of damage. As Florian Haas, we're seeing him fighting off, I think that is Josh Downard, just behind him in 13th position, and behind him is Sotiris Cognitoris. So he's got a bit of a DRS train going that he is at the head of as we approach half distance in race 1 here in FS2.
And yeah, for now a very controlled and impressive drive from Denyshenko, and just what his team needed after yeah, unlucky campaign so far. But yeah, Dennis is doing an amazing job so far. But how will the tires? How will they last? At least for now, good enough, because he and that's Dennis. Yeah, just drove Luke Mitchell out of DRS. So for now, Dennis got it all under control. Jack Mayer in P3 can't follow Luke and Dennis, so that's also telling, because I would have expected he would have been closer at this point of the race. But maybe Jack has got his own plan. Maybe at the end of the race, maybe he's saving the tires a lot, because he knows that it will be difficult at the end.
Apologise, Menno, but here comes Tyrus Cognitoris around the outside of Josh Downard, still trying to hang it out there, and they're pretty nip and tuck here. And it's Hassa, sorry, not Josh Downard. I read the timing screen wrong, but Cognitoris is down the inside and actually through one of the faster corners on this circuit. And then just behind, there's another car trying to find his way through. It's Justin Ruren, and he's managed to get through as well. So he's into 14th position and getting a couple of points. And oh no, he's off the track, and he's had to give up both 14th and 15th. And Tisano is through as well.
It was a good move, but just yeah, a little bit braking too late, and then yeah, you're not losing 1 or 2 positions. But yeah, it's good to see also from the other optimial car that he is also on the move. So yeah, we've got loads of fights, and let's see where they will end up. Let's see if we got some battling. We've got great battles between P4, P5 and P6. That's Massimiliano Riboli in P4, Jerry van Bussel in P5, Mikael Tumale in P6. So they are in a group of their own, but yeah, they're driving quite fast and not that much slower than Jack Mayer, who did drive away from them a bit. But yeah, pace is good there, and Jerry van Bussel seems to be very hungry to even go to P4. But yeah, we know Massimiliano Riboli is of course a man with a lot of qualities, and yeah, one of them qualities is yeah, defending like a lion. So let's see if Jerry can actually pass him in the next couple of laps.
It would be a rather good result in a feature race for VMS Sun Edits to have Jerry van Bussel get into 4th position to aid his teammate sitting in 1st, and it looks pretty line of stern at the front at the moment, with just 8 laps to go at the line. So they look like they have got probably season best results in the bag here, VMS Sun Edits Racing, and you do have to feel happy that one of the smaller teams, if well, certainly not one of the teams that are at the front. Oh, there's a huge accident, and what on earth has happened there? There's 4 or 5 cars involved, and there's someone on his roof as well and onto the halo, and the GPVWC Academy car just spins to avoid that one, or just not spins but gets on through. But there was 4 or 5 cars involved in that, and I saw the timing screen going mad, and I'm not too sure what happened there, but let's have a replay and let's just see what happens. We see the cars coming on through. There's Kings Racing, were they involved? And Tommy Kuvian was driving all rights here. No major dramas. And then heading through the right-hander. Did he spin it himself? Yeah, oh, there's another lag spike. And it's a huge lag spike. And is that Josh Downard? Because if so, that's the 2nd time he's been up in the air this season. Of course, he had that huge crash. I think it was Turkey. He went over the barrier. And it might have been Portimao, actually. but that is huge. In fact, no, it was Florian Haas, I think, not Josh Downard. So Josh's look not that horrendous. And that's the second lag spike that we've seen cause a major incident today. And I have to say, I would probably blame the heat. I think people's computers are overheating here.
Yeah, that might be what is happening, and yeah, it's just problematic for a few PCs, and a PC shutdown or half shutdown can cause more drama than only for one driver. So so that spices up the order a bit. So where did everybody end up? So it is Justin Ruin is out, unfortunately. Ali Pollock just pitted. Florian Haase is in P24. He had damage, needed to replace a front wing. Stephen Lexo now up to P23, and Remco de Zeeuw now in P22. He has also been very unlucky. Jos Douderdoe now in P21st. So yeah, quite a few people who were unlucky there. But yeah, then we've got quite a few who were lucky. Piotr Adamczyk now jumped into the points. Tommy Koivunen now jumped into the points. Kenneth Singleton now has got the final point. And yeah, personally, I hope Kenneth can score some good points, because he deserves it after having loads of bad luck earlier this season.
And Denis Shevchenko still leads this one. And Luke Mitchell in second position, getting a great deal of points over Ruben Machete, who... fortunately for Ruben, is watching on. I say unfortunately, he is on holiday, so I can't feel too bad for him. But look at that gap, 3.4 seconds now, actually, 4 seconds dead. And Denis Shevchenko is dominating in quite fine style here. He's led every lap of this race. I'll double check if he's got the fastest lap as well. And I believe no, he does not. So that actually is Stephen Lexo. So it won't be a Grand Slam for Denis Shevchenko, but it'll be the next best thing, and it'll be a dominant victory anyway. No points at the Grand Slam. You do get a point for fastest lap though, so I suppose maybe there are. But Michael Tuamala down the inside now, one of the other VMS Sunedit's cars. And is he going to be able to sneak his way through into turn one? He's going to have the DRS again, but it's a DRS train, so is Jerry Van Bussel, and he's not quite able to sneak his way through. Massimiliano Riboli holding on to fourth position quite nicely now, with these two having a battle for that last spot in the top five.
A very good position. Well, we've got a huge battle for P13, Tommy Koivunen and Piotr Adamczyk, and Tommy Koivunen is past Piotr Adamczyk, so that's very good. Now we've got Kenneth Singleton looking around the outside, but there is no room to get it, so he is still in P15, but hunting P14. I fear Piotr Adamczyk just doesn't have the pace when it matters, but yeah, he cannot follow Tommy at the moment.
And lap 13 of 18, I imagine with the track temperature that now is actually, the track temperature stayed the same, 32 degrees, but the ambient down to 28, so I imagine the driver's struggling a little bit with the tyre wear at this stage. Shouldn't be so bad for race 2. But 5 laps to go now is the call as Shevchenko crosses the line to start his fifth from last lap. Luke Mitchell just a little bit behind him to the tune of about 6 seconds or so. And I definitely think that VMS Sunedits have really found something in this car. They found something in the setup that's really accelerated them up to this far up the order, because they haven't really been around here so far this season.
No, they haven't, and for now it all seems to go their way, but it also goes the way of Ashera. So let's see if they can pull it over the line. That's very important. You can drive 1-2 at the beginning, but or with 2 cars in the top 5. But if you don't score the points when it matters, then it's not like that worth it. You showed that you have skill, but if you can translate it to points, then
VMS for context, 8 drivers so far this season, and only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points finishes for them, which given the amount of races we've had, 20, that's just about over 50%. And when you've got 2 drivers, that means only about 25% of the races have they gone on to score points. So to not only get a double points finish, which I'm just double checking, would be the first time, no, the second time this season they've got a double points finish. Well, it would be quite impressive to make it a first and fifth. That being said, Jerry Van Bussel is under a little bit of pressure from Michael Tuamalo, who thinks about a move down into the inside. They're having a little bit of a waltz down into turn 1 with 4 laps to go, and Jerry Van Bussel just about stays ahead.
Yeah, he is driving a good race, more or less watching everywhere. And yeah, Jerry is not far away from Massimiliano Riboli, so let's see if he can attack him at the maybe the final few laps, which are starting now. I think now we will see people maybe struggling with tires and grip. The best of the tires, of course, now is long gone, and yeah, what will the rest of the tire, which what grip is left, what will that provide to the drivers? Will we? Well, I believe
Jerry was off.
Yeah. So
And,
that was a loss of grip.
Yes, he's off, and he's lost 5th position as well, though I don't think they'll mind too much given the amount of points they'll take home regardless for EMS Sun Edits Racing, which will accelerate them up the order a little bit. A 9th in the standings at the moment. They should comfortably overtake Deltec and perhaps even Spark, I want to say. I'm not too sure on that latter one, though. We'll see after this round. Of course, race 2 still to come. So 3 laps left in this one as we see Kenny Singleton trying to attack Piotr Adamczyk, and Piotr at the moment holding on firm to that 14th position, and it's not really under too great a threat. 7/10 of a second Kenny is behind, and he'll have the DRS, and the question is whether it'll be enough for him to get past. He's actually driving rather quickly as Kenny Singleton to try and move himself up through the minor points paying positions as Remco Dessert gets a time penalty. But this is what we want to see at the moment. A little bit of a battle for 14th position as Kenny Singleton is looking like he's going to get through on Piotr down into turn 1 around the outside. Piotr tries to hold it out, and he's going to just about hold on to 14th position as well. That being said, Kenny with the DRS is going to try and sneak one down the inside once more. They're side by side, unable to separate each other at this stage, and it looks like Piotr has just, with a pretty valiant defence, stayed ahead, but it's not totally over yet. Kenny might be able to have one more little look down into this left-hander. I think he's going to stay behind for the time being, and there's no moves into the hairpin, that's for certain. So a brave defence from Piotr.
Great battle. They both looked where they were on track and where, how wide their car was, and they didn't touch. They just were really safe. But yeah, I feel Kenny or Kenneth will try it even harder next time with DRS. But yeah, it was a good defending move from Piotr. So he shows that he has a bit of skill there.
Sweet Tua Marlet finally making the move on Massimiliano Riboli around the outside. He thinks about it, and not quite going to be in the end for Machael. He's going to have to try into the left-hander. That being said, Massi got the DRS off of the back marker, and it looked like Tua Marlet's attempt on this occasion was just a little bit short, so he has to stay 5th for the time being, and will try and get 4th on the next time by, which will be the final lap of the race. By the way, Denis Sashenko, 10.5 seconds now the lead he has.
Yeah, he is driving away. It looks like Luke might have given up and just...
Oh, there's a spin at the back as well.
Just thinks like, okay, P2 is mine, just I will save the tires and get the maximum results, which is P2. I think Luke is really thinking about the way like, oh, Reuven isn't here. P2 is 20 points. Let me get that so that I can get that back on Reuven. So I think Luke and maybe Jack as well in P3 playing the long game here. But wait.
Tua Marlet right behind, and on the what is going to be the final lap, he's now going to have a proper bite at the cherry. That is Massimiliano Riboli and his 4th position. Tua Marlet trying to get through. He's going to have the DRS, and he's only 5/10 of a second behind Massimiliano Riboli. Here we go then. He's got the DRS, and now down into turn 1. He's got the slipstream as well. Massimiliano Riboli moves to make a defence, then he moves back to the outside, and Tuomala can't quite squeeze through. He's going to have DRS on this a second occasion though, and now down into the left-hander of turn 2. Is Tuomala going to be able to squeeze his way through? He's going to try and move to think about it, but it looks like Massimiliano Riboli has held on firm here, and is going to take home 4th position.
Yeah, that was just, no way for Mikael to pass there. The exit of Massimiliano was just too good over on the start-finish straight from the last corner. So, yeah, looks very good. Well, Jerry van Bussel now is really close to P5. Will he go for it? No, he doesn't go for it. Yeah, we've got a great fight for P10. It's Scott Mitchell against Sotiris Kontagouris. Will he go for it? Might go for it. Not there. But yeah, we're nearly home.
I just give Denis Ashenko his crowning moment, because VMS Sunedis Racing, for the first time, they've got a reserve driver in for the first time this season. It's going to be Denis Ashenko and VMS Sunedis Racing who take home the victory, and it's in the Hungaroring. It's at the Monaco Without Barriers, as it's called, and Denis Ashenko takes the dominant win from pole, lights to flag victory, and then Luke Mitchell is going to finish in second position with Jack Mayer coming home third. Both of them taking a huge stab at Ruven Mercedes's lead.
Yes, and it's Massimiliano Ribolo in P4, so great points for Alfa Scherak, great points. Mikael Altumala now in P5, a good drive from him. Where he was really racy, and it was good. Jerry van Bussel in P6. So that's
was
great
spun
point.
across the line, Menno.
Oh, we missed that, so he went for it, yeah. So Tyrus lost his front wing, but of course he can then cross the start-finish line. Still in P10. Scott Mitchell in P9 also lost a front wing, so I'm not sure if he can get a replay of the finish there.
I'm not too sure I need a replay, because it just looked like he'd spun around and just hit the wall. Piotr comes home in 16th position, and a big shout out to Yusuf bin Soyal, who has taken home a handful of points for Red Ven Racing to sort of quell the advantage that the rivals of Alfa Sierra get in the championship. A 40-point gap, that is. And Menno, take us through the race results.
So, yeah, we'll wait for before we see them. So it's Denis Ashenko who takes the full 25 points for this race 1, and this is for VMS a great result. Then Luke Mitchell, 20 points in the back, 20 points closer to Ruven Mercedes. Well done, Luke Mitchell. Then we've got Jack Mayer in P3, 16 points for him. Then we've got Massimiliano Riboli in P4 with Mikael Somala in P5. Jerry van Bussel at his second FS2 round. He already showed pace a while ago, but now he translated into great P6, so 10 points for Jerry. Then Maxime Biliou, really, really good P7. I'm really happy for Maxime in P7. Then we've got Jack Nichols in P8, Scott Mitchell in P9, and Sotiris Kontagouris, who's now the new primary at Spark, in P10. So 6 points for Sotiris. Then we go from 11 to 15. Let's see who finished there. So it's Luca Tisano bringing home 5 points, and then we got 4 points for Yusuf bin Suhail, and that's really good because he had a spinner in lap 1, so still getting P12, and our chances of reverse grid pole is really good. Tommy Koivunen in P13, Kenneth Singleton in P14, and Piotr Adamczyk in P15 it says, but as I'm not sure what happened there, because my screen says Scott Sovic, so it might be that Scott Sovic finished there and Piotr had a time penalty maybe. We've got, let's see, Caitlin Penny in 17th, Josh Downard in 18th, Lilian Harire in 19th, and Stephen Lexo in 20th, if I'm not mistaken. And then we go to the finals, and that is, let's see, yeah, we've got loads of different names. That I believe this is because several people left the server. So yeah, we had a few DNFs. That's Justin and Aurelian, and for the rest, you can see it on your screen because it's a bit of a mess right now. But I think a lot of people are currently restarting their PCs or putting their graphics lower or anything. So yeah, great race one. Surprising winner. I had my doubts if he could make that stick for the whole race, but yeah, he dominated Dennis, and yeah, out of nothing, a dominating win from VMS. Tom, we didn't see this one coming.
No, but a dominating drive from Denis Sashenko, and narrowly missing out on the Grand Slam to boot as well, and yeah, by a few hundredths of a second in the end. But again, missing out on the fastest lap point, but that's not too important. Anyway, we're going to go to a quick break whilst we wait for a lot of people to restart their computers and things. Everyone's struggling with the heat today. I need a glass of water as well. So we'll see you in about 10 minutes time for race 2 here in FS2. And as we see someone get it all wrong towards the end of this warm-up session, welcome back to the Hungaroring. We are just waiting for the second warm-up session, well, the third warm-up session actually, no, just the second of the evening, to get finished, and the checker flag is out there, so we're just waiting for the session to change over. Essentially, it's just Caitlin Penny and Denis Sashenko still on track. And, well, another 18-lap race ahead of us, and everyone hoping that we don't quite get the drama that we did in the first race with various people having technical issues. But I am Tom Dillon. Alongside me, as always, is Menno Klont. And Menno, expecting Denis Sashenko to climb his way through the field?
Yeah, well, this is a more difficult task, of course, because now he actually needs to overtake a lot of people. I think he's got the skill to do it. But yeah, I'm not sure how far he can go. I would say this is the track, one of the tracks, if you got reverse grid pole here, or let's say in the top 5, even if you don't have the outright page, you could do really well here. It's difficult, very difficult to overtake, and it's difficult to see the top guys going through the whole field. It more or less depends on what happens the first 3-4 laps. If they then move up the field like really fast, then there is a possibility for a really good position. Otherwise, I think they are a bit out of position. So that's interesting to see what will happen. And how everybody will move up. During the start phase.
And just taking a minute to change session here, and not too sure what's going on, whether there be just the game being slow. Sometimes you can have issues with rFactor 2. It's not the most stable of games. And, well, I know we've been mentioning it a lot, but, well, it's not every day you have 40 degrees over here in the UK. Some of these drivers, particularly those that are sort of in the Midlands, maybe towards down south a little bit in the UK, or some of the Europeans who have had it just as hard as us. Now, even though the temperature is dropping, it's about 30 degrees where I am. And with the temperature dropping, everyone is still going to be a little bit sweaty and struggling a little bit, particularly with how, especially some of the cheaper racing wheels, can overheat in conditions like this.
Yeah, and I think we're just waiting. The grid has been set once more, and I think we will go to the next session quite soon. And then we will, of course, take you through the order of the starting grid, and let's see where everybody will battle from, and if there are miracles possible for some of the drivers, maybe in front now, who were behind at race 1. So yeah, we shall see.
And well, I can see rFactor 2 trying to get the session underway, but this is a rather abnormal wait. I wonder if there might be a possibility of a server restart here.
No. It's working.
It was, you never know with rFactor 2, do you? Sometimes it can just inexplicably stop working for a moment.
But, and I believe we had a late joiner. Yeah, so we now got the 27 guys from the last race as well. So the field is 27 drivers, but only 15 can get points. The winner will get 20 points from race 2, and P15 will get 1 point. So let's see.
And I just want to address Yusuf bin Soyal in 3rd position. If he can hold on to that, that is going to be much, much, much needed points for Red Ven Sim Racing, Red Ven Racing here. Even it's going to be much, much, much needed points after race 1.
Yeah, well, we've got 20 seconds to go, and I need to line up within. Well, now it's 10 seconds, so everybody is lining up, waiting for as long as possible. Okay.
Don't want your car overheating either on the grid.
No, that's something you don't want, and that's why a lot of people wait quite long. So we will take you through the starting grid for a race 2 here at Hungary at the Hungaroring. The starting order is as follows. It's Kenneth Singleton in P1 pole position, then it's Tommy Koivunen in second position, Yusuf Bin Suhail in third, and Luca Tizzano in fourth position. Fifth position for Sataris Kontogoris with Scott Mitchell in P6, Jack Nichols in P7, and Maxime Biliou in P8. P9 is for Jerry van Bussel with Mikael Tomala in P10. Massimiliano Ribolo in P11 and P12 is there for Jack Mayer. Then P13 for Luke Mitchell and Denis Ischenko starts in P14. We've got Scott Sovic in P15 and Seva Panasenko in P16. 17th for Josh Downard and 18th for Steven Lexo. Then we've got 19th for Mihailo Vicentjevic, 20th for Remco de Zeeuw, 21st for Piotr Adamczyk, Caitlin Penny in P22nd, Lilian Hillier in P23rd and Florian Haas in P24th. And on the final three we've got Ali Pollack in P25, P26 for Justin Ruan, and then P27 for Aurélien Grisson. So that rounds out our field of 27 runners. And let's see what will happen in this race. I would say if the anybody in the top 3, top 5, if they've got a gap after a few laps, they might pull it ready until the end, but we shall see. It all depends how fast the likes like Jack Mayer, Luke Mitchell, Denis Ischenko, how much they will move up the spots in the early laps. So Tom, what do you think? Who will win it?
Well, I'm not too sure, but what I can tell you is that Team RNG yet to win this season. 6 drivers they've had and 22 points scored amongst them. But this could be an
everybody
opportunity.
lined up now. So
Here
now
we go, then.
you have the lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and for race 2 we are go, and it's a good start for Kenny Singleton, but I think Tommy Koivunen also has got a pretty good start. He is more or less alongside him. Will he go for the outbraking into turn 1? I think.
Well, there's a huge crash! And there's multiple people involved as well at the back. And, well, despite Kenny Singleton, it's quite horrendous actually at the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars involved. And plenty of them without wings, one without a rear wing. And, well, I'm not too sure what happened there, but someone got strewn across the road. And we ended up with about 5 cars all pointing in the wrong direction. Kenny Singleton still leads from Tommy Kuvian. Yusuf Bin Zayal maintained his 3rd position off the start. Then it's Tizzano and the Kings Racing duo of Mitchell and Nichols, but I'd quite like to get a replay of that start because that was quite dramatic, and there's a few argy-bargy moments between Riboli and Ischenko.
Yeah.
And there's more than the crash into Jack Nichols, and Scott Mitchell as well, and there's more, I think 6 people maybe off there. And well, that's quite horrendous as well. Both Kings Racing cars involved, and well, usually, Menno, I hand back to you saying it's been a pretty clean start, but that's quite the opposite.
Yeah, it's like everybody wants to make their moves because they know they need to make it stick in order to move up the ladder in this difficult to overtake circuit. But yeah, this was a bit crazy, and that's something I didn't expect. Let's see where everybody is.
There's Steven Lexo in 11th position is someone to keep an eye out for, and Yusuf Bin Zayal has fallen down a little bit, down to 6th position. He must have been involved in that little crash. He's being pressurised by Jack Nichols a little bit. I mean, in fact, he's being pressurised by someone else. And, oh dear, down the inside. Luke Mitchell tried to go for a move as well, but Yusuf actually had to attack Jack Nichols there. Otherwise, Luke Mitchell was going to get by on him, and Luke Mitchell now does get through on Bin Zayal.
Yeah, we've got several people in the pits. It's Caitlin Penny, Lilian Hilare in the pits, Sotiris Konsuguris in the pits, and Piotr Adamczyk unfortunately are already out, but I'm not sure what happened at the start. To see that back maybe later.
Oh, it was a lag spike for Yusuf.
That's a huge shame, and that's a lag spike, or that's a PC, which is is not doing well, and it's unfortunate to see that it caught out more people. But now at the front, it's Kenny Singleton now in P1, and he had a difficult season so far. But can he change it, turn it around? Mikael Tomala now in P2, and he had a flyer of a start, and now he's in P2. That's really impressive, and will he hunt that win? We're just
watching the. I apologise, Menno. It's just because we were watching the incident back, the second incident, and that wasn't caused by a lag spike. That was caused by Tommy Gouvian jumping over the curb and causing a sort of domino effect. And 3 or 4
we've got an overtake for P3. It's an overtake currently for P3. It's Jerry van Bussel against Luca Tizzano, and Jerry has got the inside, and Jerry van Bussel passes for P3. And Luca Tizzano now in P4. So Jerry already P6 in race 1. Can he go even better and then go for a podium in race 2? That would be something.
And it is actually huge from VMS Sunedits to have such a performance here, with a second looking likely in race 2 here in Hungary. Massimiliano Riboli is under pressure from Yusuf Bin Soyal. He's through 7th position for him. Jack Nicholls in 6th. Luke Mitchell in 5th. And Singleton still leading the way by 1.2 seconds now. And he's doing exactly what he needs to do. Kenny Singleton off the start at the moment. Broken DRS range, as DRS will be enabled on the next lap. Lap 3 of 18 here in the Hungaroring.
Yes, but Ken it already checked out a bit, so that's really good for his chances at the moment. He's 1.3 ahead of Mikael Tomala, but Mikael Tomala is also quite a bit ahead of Jerry van Bussel, who is in P3. And Jerry van Bussel is driving away from Luca Tizzano, so they're more or less all out of the DRS zone, I would say. So that's interesting to see. Luke Mitchell is actually now attacking Luca Tizzano, and this will be one of the more easier overtakes. Luke Mitchell is there in P4, and it looks really good for Luke Mitchell now. He already got 20 points back from race 1 from Reuven's championship lead, and they've only got better. And we've got a problem for Kenneth Singleton. Kenneth Singleton, what happened to Kenneth Singleton from the lead? The car stopped. The car just stopped, it just went straight. Is it a PC issue? Kenneth Singleton, I can't believe it. The whole season could have been redeemed. The whole season he was leading for Team RNG, and he is out of race 2 of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Did something break? I don't know, but it is drama for Kenneth Singleton. The curse continues. I don't know, maybe my cameraman knows what actually happened there, but this was so out of a sudden. It's just like a car stopped. It's like something overheated.
So he's applied the brakes immediately there, which would suggest to me that he's either had a major screen freeze or a total wheel lock up, and it's just put the brakes on completely for him. Because if you notice, he didn't shift down gear, did he? He stayed in 4th gear, so that's what's happened there. But Jerry van Bussel is actually in prime position to perhaps make it 2 wins from 2 for VMS Sunedits Racing. Tuomala is in the lead of this race, and that is huge for Michael Tuomala. Luke Mitchell has set the fastest lap of the race. However, he's probably in prime position to go on for a win. Here's Jack Nicholls trying to make a move into 4th position, and Tizzano down into turn 1. He's going to get the move done before the corner, come back to cut back off Tizzano and get through into 4th position. He can now chase after Luke Mitchell. It's 3 seconds to the podium ahead for Jack Nicholls. Yusuf Bin Soyal down in 9th position, and he's driving well, is Yusuf Bin Soyal. His teammates just overtaken him. He just, unfortunately for Yusuf, doesn't really have the pace to be keeping up in this really competitive front pack. Here is Mashenko is onto the grass.
That was a bit silly for Mashenko, because he was looking there for to overtake Tizzano, but there was no room there, so he stuck his nose in. But that was not something I would have done personally. But he's just letting Tizzano know he's there, and hopes to overtake him soon. And seeing that pace difference, I think he should be able to do so. Shout out to Stephen Lexo, who after a difficult race 1 with the incident already is in P8. So great recovery drive for Stephen Lexo, and I hope he can redeem himself for that race one. Bad luck, because Steven has got a lot of bad luck this year, and more than half of the occasions it was not his fault. I think I would say even more, and it's just pure dumb luck. That he didn't score. So he's now on the hunt for a good position. While we now see Denis Yashenko go to P6. I think Steven Lexo will overtake as well. While we've got Massimiliano Riboli overtaking for P4 for Jack Nicholls. So that's P4 for Riboli.
And Jack Nicholls really trying to fight back there, but Riboli just has heaps of pace. Zano's having a bit of difficulty as well with Yashenko. That was Lexo up into 7th. They've changed their livery of Red Ven, and it's been throwing me off ever since they changed it. But anyway, Lexo now limiting the damage caused by Alpha Sierra in the first race, and with Yusuf Bin Sayal also in the points and looking like he's going to stay in the points. This should be a pretty good damage limitation round for them, with of course Ruben Machado, I believe, returning next time out in 2 weeks' time. So I'm trying to see where we're at in 2 weeks' time, at Belgium in Spa. So it should be a pretty good race for them there, you would expect. Luca Tizzano still in 8th position, second to the car ahead, just within the DRS zone. Jack Nicholls within DRS range as well. 7 laps now of 18 completed in this one.
Look at Luke Mitchell for P2. He's going to try to overtake Jerry van Bussel. Oh, late break from Luke, late break. Oh, he nearly gets it stopped more or less inside of the car of Jerry, but Luke really tried, and now Jerry needs to show him.
Oh, he's into the wall. It's Denis Yashenko. And that is Yashenko, winner of race 1, looking really good in race 2, agonisingly trying to rejoin as he watches everyone fly by him and into the wall. Denis Yashenko, that is absolutely bitter disappointment for him. Front wing gone even, and as we see the replay of what happened for Denis Yashenko, and he was trying to make a move on, I think this is Jack Nicholls, isn't it? He gets tapped down into turn 1, and then it's just on the throttle application. He flies into the wall.
Was that throttle application, or was that maybe open DRS while you're still turning? I think that could have been it as well.
No, the DRS zone opens just a little bit later than that. I think the line was just ahead of them. I think, but anyway, this is Tommy Kuvian. Just behind Josh Downard, and a little bit of a mistake from Tommy Kuvian, and it's okay, no one saw, he's absolutely fine, and he can continue on as we start to get into lap 8 of this race. Mile is still leading.
Luke Mitchell is closer than ever, and I think he will try to go for a move, but Jerry knows more tricks than one. I already noticed. Luke Mitchell needs to go around the outside, I think. So he will go around the outside. Outside will be inside. Oh, he brakes out so late. Can he make it stop? No, I can't. Yeah, that was quite elbows out from Jerry van Bussel. But yeah, I think it would still be fair.
Mitchell came across and clipped Van Bussel, so there really no love lost between these two. As we see the replay down into turn 1, this is Jerry Van Bussel on board with him, and you can see Luke Mitchell just came across and just slightly clipped him down into turn 1, and that sent Mitchell actually well wide, and that allowed Jerry Van Bussel to get back through with the DRS as well, I believe, because he was behind heading into the activation point. Josh Downard is now trying to make his way through the field. Tizzano is just ahead of him, and Pinsola ahead of that. And David Junt said, I'd be surprised if he had DRS without being full on the throttle to keep it open. That does depend on what mod settings you have, though, doesn't it? He might have one of those things that when I used to race Academy anyway, where you had to be fully off the throttle or apply brakes for your DRS to close.
Yeah. So we're getting closer again, and I'm still watching the Van Bussel Mitchell a fight for P2. I think Mitchell now is too far away, but no, his exit is still quite good, and I think Jerry can stay ahead this time in the DRS zone. Yeah, he will still defend. late move from Luke Mitchell, but no, this is not good enough to overtake. Yeah.
As we see, actually, Josh Downer tried to make a move, and he's not able to find the space on the outside there. And Tizano just able to fend off any attacks there with some clever moves just before the braking zone. The other Scuderia car is there. Scott Mitchell through on P14, just about. He's going to be given a right old run for his money by Jack Mayer. These two fighting in the minor points positions, and all they make contact as well. But Scott Mitchell just through on Jack Mayer at the moment, and well, into 14th position. Jack Mayer has to settle for 15th. Not the lofty heights second place in the championship we'll be hoping for, especially with Luke Mitchell up into third. And this is surely going to see Luke Mitchell take the lead over Ruven Machete.
Well, I see Scott Silvers in the pits with change of rear wing, so he is in the pits for quite long. And, so he's going down the order.
2.4 seconds now. Turo Mahler leads this race by. Looks to be taking what I am sure will be his maiden win of the season.
Luke Mitchell is now closer than ever out of the last corner. He doesn't use DRS ? Or I just don't see it. Yeah,
he's definitely got DRS because of how fast he's going, and now he's going to try and sail around the outside. Is Luke Mitchell? He's going to have the DRS on the second occasion. There's going to be a mistake from Jerry Van Bussel. It's going to allow Luke Mitchell to finally have the opportunity he needs to get into second position. And now Michael Turo Mahler has got a mighty job on his hands to fend off those 3 seconds in the next 9 laps. Here's Josh Downard trying to go around the outside on, who is this? It's Tizano, and now the outside's going to turn to the inside, and Josh Downard is going to get through into 8th position. Is he just ahead? I think he's just ahead, and in fact onto the grass from Tizano is going to allow Josh Downard to stay in 8th.
Great move from Josh Downard. He shows his worth, and that was a clean move.
Oh, Remco has a little bit of a spin, and is going to go into 16th in the end.
Yeah, and just a little spin like that just drops him out of the point scoring position, so that's quite huge for him. But let's see, can Luke Mitchell, can he close that gap of Michael Tomala, and what can Michael Tomala do? What was Michael's best result so far? I believe it was a P3 at Azerbaijan race 2, but can he go for the big one?
Well, on the first lap, he's actually extended the gap by about 1/10 of a second. So theoretically, he's got this on that form. Has Turo Mahler with now 8 laps to go even. Stephen Lexo trying to make a move on Jack Nichols for 5th position. And Ruven Machete has been doing the calculations. And you're supposed to be on holiday, my friend, not focusing on your championship points. And he said that he'd be 2 points ahead, Luke Mitchell.
Yeah, so that shows that how Luke Mitchell is calculating. I think this as well. He knows exactly how many points Ruven is ahead, and he knows exactly that there's no time for caution now. This is the golden opportunity to get a lot of points back and put yourself into the prime position in the championship. So let's see. Let's see if he can get the points in as well. So P2 for Luke Mitchell would mean another 17 points will go his way. So that's very interesting.
Jack Mayer is trying to... Ruven Machete says, I've got 2 sunburned feet, Tom, and I've had to coop myself up in my room today to make sure that the heat doesn't get to me, and it still didn't work. And I'm just about dying without being able to have a fan
crash!
on commentating.
Tizano off! He lost it out of the corner and lost his rear wing. So he will be out of the point scoring position. He needs to go to the pits. I think he lost it at accelerating. And that was a very good race until then. Done. So done for Luca Tizano. But he showed some decent pace. And I think he can be quite proud on what he achieved so far, but no points in race 2 for Luca Tizano. which is a huge shame.
As we see Scott Mitchell trying to make a move on Kuvian into ninth position. He's 7/10 of a second behind, so he's going to have to wait for the DRS, you would expect, on lap 12 of 18 in this race. And at the moment, Scott Mitchell just staying behind for a little bit. And Dakar says it rained in Le Mans at the end of today, so I'm doing okay. And Scott Mitchell actually has made a mistake and he's onto the grass. And well, that's going to lose him a couple of tenths of a second.
Yeah, that was still quite okay. He went off the track, but he went off track in a how you say it, straight line, so it didn't cost him too much pace actually. Maybe a tenth which we were talking about, and he is actually getting closer, Scott Mitchell, to Tommy Kuiven in P9. So can he move up? We shall see. Luke Mitchell now is in DRS of Mikael Tomala. Tomala needs to show all he is worth for this victory if he can make it. And Jerry van Bussel just can't follow the top two. That will be really frustrating for Jerry van Bussel. I know this might be his first podium, but you always want more, and then you see just two were just a little bit too fast. And yeah, for now he still sees the two leaders, so who knows what will happen. So yeah, great drive from Jerry van Bussel. So you would agree, right? Jerry van Bussel showed great pace already in race 1 and now in P3.
If he can hold off Massimiliano Ribli, but here is the pressing issue at hand, and that is that Luke Mitchell has quietly caught all the way up to Michael Tuamala, and he's going to spoil his party a little bit, you would think. Let's follow them heading through Sector 3 now and then down the pitch straight. Is this going to be the occasion that Luke Mitchell gets on through? 7/10 of a second historically in this race has been enough for someone to just about squeeze on through. Now this question is it a mistake? Surely now this is going to be the opportunity that Luke Mitchell needs to get through into the lead of the race. Lap 13 of 18. It will be lap 14 at the line, so there's going to be 5 laps to go in the race. Is Luke Mitchell going to be able to get through on this occasion, go into the lead of the race, and surely into the lead of the championship? 5/10 of a second as they head through the DRS zone. Michael Tuamala is moving to defend the best he can, weave and break the slipstream. Luke Mitchell down into turn 1, surely has the overspeed on Tuamala. He's going to spoil Tuamala's party and a chance for a maiden race victory and get through into the lead of the race. That being said, Tuamala isn't going down without a fight. He goes back around the outside to try and just make something of it, and Luke Mitchell in the end gets into the lead of the race, with Scott Mitchell overtaking the other Scuderia car and going into 9th position as well. But Luke Mitchell leads.
Yeah, that was a great move, but I didn't see Tomala actually defending too hard, so maybe he just thinks, yeah, I can hold this off for a lap, maybe 2 laps, but he will be faster. And maybe Mikael is playing the longer game on tires, so we shall see. Or maybe he already knows his tires are maybe fading away a bit, so he just chooses not to fight to keep the tires in the a little bit healthy. Yeah, now you will see.
Stephen Lexo. He's sorry, Menno. He's going for a rather bold move on Jack Nicholls and gets through into 5th position. And I think Nicholls' tyres as well are just probably a little bit shot at this stage. He does try and make something of a counter-attack. But it's not going to be in the end, and Stephen Lexo is up into 5th position with Nicholls down in 6th. Still a good finish for Nicholls, and rather consistent, as I believe he finished in 6th in the first race, did he not?
Yeah, Jerry van Bussel finished in P6.
Oh right, so yeah. Nicholls was in the top 10 anyway.
Yeah.
Ruben Machete enjoying the overtake in a YouTube chat, and Ruben, you've been quite the entertainment factor in the YouTube chat. Can we get you typing from the car next week?
Would be something, right?
Yes.
So I'm looking at lap times currently. Luke Mitchell's last lap was at 31.6. Mikael Tomala at 33.0, so that's 1.4 loss in 1 lap. Jerry van Bussel 32.3 and a 32.2 for Massimiliano Riboli. So yeah, Luke Mitchell is on a roll, and I think the tires are just working for him, and he's putting in amazing lap times in comparison of the rest. Let's see. I do see Massimiliano Riboli catching more and more to Jerry van Bussel. So is Jerry van Bussel's first podium at GPVWC Formula Sprint 2, is it in danger with 2 laps to go next time by? Yeah, it's difficult to say. But of course this is the most difficult 2 laps of the race. Oh, and Jerry is smoking the tires out of that corner. Will that cost him dearly the final 2 laps? I am not sure. Oh, but he is working that car, but Massimiliano as well.
And Riboli is really driving with a little bit of intent now to try and catch up to Jerry van Bussel, but also try and fend off Stephen Lexo, who is really going along quite quickly. Josh Downard in 8th position is trying to attack Yusuf Bin Soyal, who, by the way, in 7th position is quietly having a very, very, very good weekend, or evening, I suppose. He clearly hasn't got the most incredible pace. In fairness to Yusuf, qualified quite far down the order, but has slowly made his way through. 12th in the first race and 7th in this one, and it just goes to show that pace isn't always the dominating factor in where you finish in a race.
Yeah, I must say I am deeply impressed by Stephen Lexo already in P5, and yeah, he's on for a podium still. Well, let's say P4 is more realistic if he can make that actually stick, but yeah, Jerry van Bussel is not that far away, and yeah, it's still quite a bit to go.
2 laps to go at the line now.
Yeah,
and,
2 laps. Yeah,
it should be pretty close for that 4th position. Pretty close, perhaps for 3rd position as well. I'm not too sure what the gaps are. You can see Luke Mitchell up 12 spots. Stephen Lexo up 13 spots. Sefer Pasanenko has got a penalty, I'm hearing. He's down in 19th, so not going to harm his day too much, as I don't think he was in contention for points. Regardless, Josh Downard now is rather close to Yusuf Bin Soyal and could put a little bit of a damper on Yusuf's rather good drive on the penultimate lap of this race. He's got the DRS, and surely he's going to be able to make this move. Yusuf will move to defend it, I am sure. Regardless, these are good points from Yusuf Bin Soyal on his reserving for Red Ren. There's contact down into turn 1. Yusuf really defending this one with all his might, and Josh Downard going to have a second bite at the cherry here. Around the outside, Yusuf still trying to hold firm. He really wants this 7th position, does Yusuf, and he's held on to it for the time being. He's going to have to defend for another lap yet, but well, Yusuf Bin Soyal, 7th position.
Yeah, and yeah, Jerry van Bussel is struggling. It's getting closer and closer. Riboli can smell P3, but Stephen can also smell P3. Oh, I think only one of those 3 can get on that podium, but yeah, they're all 3 pushing for it, which Jack Nicholls now seems to be safe in P6. And then we've got the great battle behind with, I believe, 5 cars now. We've got Yusuf Bin Soyal, Downard, Mitchell, Koivunen and Mayer all fighting for that position, and yeah, we've got 1 lap to go.
Final lap of the race then is about to start, and Massimiliano Riboli is just behind Jerry van Bussel. He won't be able to overtake for 3rd position, that's almost certain. He's not in the DRS range. Stephen Lexo is in the DRS range, however, and Stephen Lexo is going to try and muscle his way into 4th position. Is he going to have the overspeed? It doesn't appear so on this occasion, and instead he's going to have to stay behind for the time being, and with DRS on the 2nd occasion, it's not the longest of straights here, and it looks like Stephen Lexo might have just lost out. I do want to get a check on Yusuf Bin Soyal, actually, if we can, please, producer.
He still makes it in front of Downard. Downard is fighting really hard, but Yusuf is just keeping everything settled. Oh, now Downard wants to go around the outside. Oh, that
he's on the track!
Whoa! They're fighting hard, and there comes Scott Mitchell! Scott Mitchell now around the outside of just Downard. No, that will not work. That will not work. This is Joss's corner. Oh, they're fighting so hard for P7, P8, and Yusuf is, wow, doing
He's held on to it.
Yeah.
You can't get through on this part of the track. Yusuf has held on to it, and as they head into Sector 3 now, Yusuf Bin Soyal is going to pick up what is quite an incredible 7th position. He looks absolutely shot. He's essentially like a rather wide Formula 3 style car, but Luke Mitchell is going to come home to win the race. 12 positions he has made up. Well, I say win the race. He's still got a corner to navigate, but now he can smile. 12 positions and the championship lead for Luke Mitchell across the line for Alfa Sierra Sim Racing. Mikael Tuamala takes at least a season best in second position. Massimiliano Rivoli just about in fourth, and Stephen Lexo in fifth. Jack Nichols takes a very, very good sixth, and Bin Sayal just about is going to come home for what is an incredibly hard-fought seventh position. Well done,
that was
my friend.
Amazing. That was amazing. What a fight all those guys showed. We're now waiting for the last guys who are over the line. But what a couple of fights we saw. Wow. And yeah, like you said, the second win for Luke Mitchell this season. And yeah, he needed this. He needed this for the championship. This means 40 points this round he scored. He scored 40 points. Mikael Tuamala with his season best. He worked for it. I think he accepted he couldn't win this, but he wanted to have that P2, and yeah, great points from Mikael in both races, but especially, of course, the podium which does it. And Jerry van Bussel in his second round, this guy is the real deal. Jerry van Bussel already showed what he's worth, and now with P3, great. Massimiliano Rivoli, also an awesome job with a lot of points, and yeah, great to see all those guys doing well. Stephen Lexo with the drive of the season to have such a difficult race one and then move up to P5 in race two. That's just pure class, and that's what he deserved. Jack Nichols with decent points. Yusuf with amazing defending. He went for it, and yeah, he can be really proud of that. Josh Downard, who was more racy, I think, than I saw him the whole year, and he was really on fire as well. And yeah, great to see all those guys. Florian Haas in P12 scoring decent points, first points of the season, and points for our own GP is good to see. Yeah, great to see. Like here we see the results. We had 1 to 10 just now, and now 11 to 20. What a race! What a race!
And I apologise there. I just had my fan on while Menno was going through that, so I had to pull down a little bit. My feeble British brain can't quite handle 30 degrees heat.
Yeah.
But as we're quickly going to get the calendar, as you can see on your screen, the last page of results, and I can tell you the schedule whilst we wait for that. It's Belgium next, then Italy, Singapore, Japan, Mexico, and Brazil, and plenty of time for this incredible championship battle to really hot up quite incredibly. But I believe we've already got the first interview ahead of us in Stephen Lexo. And I might as well drag him in. And Stephen, not the most successful day in terms of the team's championship that I know you've said you're focusing on. You may have lost the lead in that particular case, but you said that, well, I guess it was damage limitation with Ruben not there, and it's still a pretty good performance.
Well, it's never been about Ruben not being there. We had an emergency driver, we had Yusuf, and he did some really good drives. Got P7 in the end in race 2, which is really good for the team, for the points. I think we are 5 points behind them now, so it's still all to play for, but yeah. The story of my season just continues on. So
And
9 times out of 10 events I had bad luck now, so yeah.
But
it's not really feeling too good, to be honest.
You must be pretty happy that you have at least been able to get some good points from a recovery drive. With Yusuf as well getting 7th in race 2.
Yeah, I mean, race 1 would have been quite interesting, actually. I was looking after my tires quite a lot, so I knew that I might have had like a second advantage at the end of the race, I didn't have it that much in the second race, but I think against I think it was more than a second advantage at the end against Nichols, and I think against Rivoli in front, I would have needed one more lap. I was completely concentrating on tire management, so I think a podium in the first one wouldn't have been out of reach with that. So yeah, but just there's nothing I can do, to be honest. I'm just driving, and then he's lagging right in front of me or right inside of me. I lose the wing, just as always. So I'm just getting used to it now.
Well, commiserations anyway, and thanks for joining us on the stream, Stephen. Hopefully we speak to you after a more positive run out next time round.
Let's hope so.
And that was Stephen Lexo for Red Ven Racing. Let's drag in second race winner. I'll let you have the honours of this one, Menno. Luke Mitchell.
Yeah, Luke Mitchell. Yeah, wow. Luke, I hope you're there.
Yeah, I'm here.
So this is all about closing the gap to your nearest rival in the championship, one of your nearest rivals, and your second win of the season. Can you tell us how your races were and how that race came about?
Yeah, it was. I think I said the last time I spoke to you guys, I knew Ruben was going to miss this round, so I had to make sure that this was the one where I'd get good points. So race 1 was a little bit boring. I didn't have the pace of Dennis, and obviously I pulled away from Jack. But race 2 was just had some good battles with Yusuf, and Jerry made it really difficult. But as soon as I got ahead of Mikhail, it was just about sort of managing that gap and keeping him outside of DRS.
Keeping it outside of DRS, yeah. How difficult was it on the tires today to do this all and make sure
it was. I think we was using probably around 4% on the front left each lap, so you sort of ending the race on about 30%, and it was just so much understeer. And then obviously once you get to the final few laps, the rears started to go as well, so it was all about managing them.
Yeah, okay. So now you're back into the championship fight. Did you just went into the race with that idea, like Ruven isn't here, this is my time to get points back, or didn't you drive like this? Or where in your mind did you think, with every overtake you did, like, oh, I need to pull this over the line, I need to get the points in,
especially at the into race 1, it was about sort of trying to keep with Dennis and then get in front of him, because if I could have gained the win and got 25 points back, that was most of the deficit. Race 2 was a little bit more cautious. There were a couple moves I thought I was sort of going to make it through, and then the door was closed. So it was about sort of weighing up the risk in the second race, because I'd banked half decent points in the first one.
Yeah, understand. Now with Alpha Share scoring loads of points also with the other driver, do you still have got the ambitions to fight for the team's championship? I guess that's more realistic now as well.
Yeah, that's always been the goal. Obviously, I know Stephen said about how he's focused on the constructors, but mine's sort of between the both. I want to sit here at the end of it and obviously win the drivers, but also have Alpha Sierra as the number 1 as well.
Yeah, so I think that will be really close. So let's see how that continues. Luke, I will leave you for now. You can celebrate maybe with some champagne. I'm not sure. I think you need to cool down a bit.
Yeah, I think a cold shower's in order.
Yeah, so that will be fine. So I think you did really well. Tom, you want to add anything to this amazing interview?
No, other than thank Luke Mitchell for your time, and we'll hopefully speak to you soon as well, Luke. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Tom. Cheers, Menno.
And that was Luke Mitchell, and we'll round out the stream. So any closing thoughts, Menno?
Like always, a bit of drama, but I think it was quite clean. Especially race 1 was clean. Of course, you had sometimes a bit unlucky incidents which happened, and that got some drivers out. But also we saw some great battling. Some new guys now showing that they are the future of our league, and that's important. I saw some drivers showing pace, which I didn't expect they had. And that's very, very good for the next few rounds. So looking forward to that. So
well, other than that, I've been Tom Dillon. He's been Menno Klont, and from a wonderful Hungarian Grand Prix, we'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you all later. Good night.
Bye-bye.